So I've heard you speak before about migration, and you do a beautiful job tying it back to the Holy Family, and just historically over time, how migration and refugee status has been with us. Can you give us and I know you have a new book coming out on migration, so can you give us a glimpse of that history and its relevance through today, and a little bit about what you try to treat in this new book that will be coming out in the fall?
Yeah, Lou, let me even put that more in the context too of being an educator in the faith. Again, when I came to Notre Dame, I was inspired by great teachers, great priests, great lay people who really helped me explore kind of the ideas of the mind and the heart, and helped me understand those questions in light of a larger journey of my life. It really was to my surprise that when I met Holy Cross, that I realized that being an educator in the faith would be so significant and so central and resonate so deeply with my life. So I think as I joined the community and really entered into that mission, my mentors really said you need to go on and do further studies, and they just said only go to the best program and study what you're really passionate about. So I wanted to study theology and spirituality, and eventually this kind of led me into this field of study. So I think learning, when I came to Notre Dame, I started with this, but like all things, you grow in your knowledge of an area. And so I think what began as a basic intuition about a connection between migration and the scriptures, or Christ and migration, I began to realize over time that Christ himself was a migrant, that Christ himself really left his homeland and migrated into the sinful and broken territory of our world. But he did so, and he laid down his life on a cross so that we can migrate back to our homeland.
Mm-hmm.
So Thomas Aquinas really says that this movement from God and this return to God, or if you will, the migration, if you will, of God to us and our return migration to God, is fundamental to our identity and who we are as human beings and who we are as Christians. So this became sort of the larger framework in which I then began to look at migration and refugee studies around the world, because I dialogue with political science and economists and sociologists, but I'm a theologian.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't pretend to be a person who really is working operatively on policy or other issues. It hopefully touches upon that, but at the core, the questions I have are theological questions.